Dan, the AI revolution is coming.
I welcome, our AI overlords.
I don't think you have a choice.
I think they're coming whether we like it or not, right?
Right. It started, to the accessible masses. It started with iOS and Mac OS adding in the ability to just look at a photo, double click on somebody, and it like highlight them, and then you can just send that as a sticker without the background or anything like that. And then we got Android, where Google allowed you to start like scribbling on stuff and removing backgrounds and removing people from the background so that you had an image that was exactly what you had imagined it to be, except for that guy that was walking across while you were taking the photo.
Right.
You could just scrub him out.
Get that guy out of there, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And then you got Windows adding in that same feature in some of their more recent insider builds. But these are, besides Androids, I guess, this is stuff that doesn't really affect us on Linux. But I have to ask the question.
Mm-hmm.
It's becoming part of the overall expectation of what a computer can do, what a device can do. So when are those types of features, the predictive text, the being able to scrub out, parts of an image and have AI kind of overlay it with, more of the beach, being able to automatically edit videos and things like that. When is that stuff coming to Linux?
Well, Leo, you're in for a treat. It's here now.
Yes. I'm so excited. What do I got to install? What do I got to do?
You might not be happy about it because, I feel like I don't know if things have changed, but Deepin seems to be first in line for this. And I know people have their reservations just in general about Deepin, right? Because it's not, where it comes from, the source of it, right? And
I think when we
talked about
dove into Deepin, I mean, we didn't other than weird licensing terms, we didn't really find anything that was.
We didn't find any issue with it, but there were people right before that. There were people that were like, "Oh no, it's phoning home," and whatever, it's reporting all your information, but it's probably not. Your mileage may vary, and you really should check into that sort of thing, because like we were talking about in the pre-show, a lot of these things do rely on things out on the internet, so they do have farms that are processing all of the artificial intelligence stuff. So I don't know if the apps that Deepin is bundling into the operating system require internet connectivity, if that makes sense, or if it can be all done locally, like a lot of the other tools that exist on other operating systems.
But you said it. I think that is really where we have it, those of us in the Linux sphere, we have the ability to kind of iterate on that. What I'm afraid of is that we're a conservative bunch. I think, we're about to see it in the Mate history. We've seen it time and time again with XFCE, with the moves that GNOME makes, with the things that Plasma does. A lot of the people in the community don't like a whole lot of change, and I think that's going to fall on the same kind of opinion when we're talking about AI stuff. Ooh, AI stuff. We don't need that in our operating system.
Right.
I can type just fine. I don't need predictive text. I don't need I can use GIMP. I don't need something to be able to remove the background out for me or anything like that. And I feel like that attitude is going to kind of stifle innovation in where we compute, where we do pretty much everything day to day. And
Well, yeah, I mean, because like you hear a lot more up in arms than you do open arms to embrace a lot of these things, right?
I love that. Okay, I'm gonna cut that part out, and I'm gonna play that on repeat for the rest of my life.
Yeah. So I mean, that's like the tinfoil hat is on pretty tight a lot of times, and that's fine. Like your right to privacy, I very much support that. So if you don't want your thing out there getting, adding to the model or whatever, I can understand that. I can understand you wanting to keep it private.
At that point, you can't post anything publicly. No one's going to respect your robot.txt file that tells the AI crawlers to not look at your website. They're going to ignore it. It doesn't matter whether you want that out there or not. If you post it publicly, it's going to be consumed by an AI model somewhere.
Yeah.
That's just the truth of it.
Right.
But it also can work to our advantage in that we can take those models, or at least the models that are open, and there are tons of them out there that are open, and we can use those in AI generator things. And saying AI is so far out there. It's not it's artificial, but it's not intelligent.
No, it's predictive modeling. That's
right.
That's really what we want to call this.
There you go, predictive models. And you can take those things, and at least as far as Linux and Windows are concerned, you pretty much have to use an NVIDIA graphics card to be able to churn these things out. But the strength that we would have is in creating the software that would generate that stuff locally, unplugged from the internet. Use it on a machine that you're going to wipe right after if you're that tinfoil hatty about it. But you're able to use these technologies and these models and these things to generate stuff locally without posting anything out on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
That, I think, is where the strength is in stuff like this, and where we could advance it, or where because there are softwares like that. In Mac OS, there's a software called Diffusion B, where you can, I think there's a little bit of leeway to go, but I think the developer's working on it, where you can just go grab any model that you want to. It's a AI image generation thing. You can go grab any model that you want to on the internet, stuff it into Diffusion B, all offline. Just download the model and then go offline. Stuff it into Diffusion B, and it will use that model to create images based on the set of information that the model was fed in the first place. And you can do that private. You can do that privately.
Right.
You can do that locally. You can do that offline. And I think we're doing ourselves a disservice by looking at a lot of this AI stuff and then just brushing it off and saying, "Oh, it's stuff that's going to come and go." But because it's not. It's for better or for worse.
Yeah, it's out there.
And you might think it's for worse, but it doesn't matter. Because this kind of stuff is here to stay. And I, for one, locally, privately, want to take advantage of predictive text so that it can... you ever tabbed in the command line? Because that kind of stuff, I don't want it to tell me what to say, but I do want it to take my ideas and stick it in there faster.
Well, it's a lot like using fish shell. Right? Because where it actually does those completion things for you in a way. And so that's very predictive. It's reading your history from what you've already done, mostly. And it knows what's on your system, so it knows what's possible. So it looks at like your frequently, the frequent tools that you use or command line options and stuff, so it knows what you probably want in a way based on what your history has been. And so it's not as advanced obviously as AI, but you want that. I understand you want that type of functionality,
but in everything, absolutely,
that's fair,
everything. But I want it, again, there's a distinction, right? Because the AI that I think a lot of people are pushing are like the open AI, the stable diffusion, but a lot of these things, when people think about them, are the ones that are in some data center somewhere that are also not only doing what you ask it to do, with various results, but also taking your prompts and everything else and adding that to the model. What I'm really talking about is not that last step.
Right.
Taking the model and then using it privately and locally without adding anything back. But you kind of run into this situation where you do got to give back sometime. And in a case like that, it's giving a couple of bucks to the guy that wrote the software to help you be able to use those models, or someone that put the model together that helps you in your workflow, sending them some money so that they can continue to refine that model so that you can take it offline and use it personally, privately, locally.
Right.
But there's a way to be able to take a lot of what's happening out there right now and removing a lot of the commercial cruft from it. But I think that's what we've done in Linux again and again and again and again and again. And we're going to see it in the history. We're going to see it. I mean, even within Linux projects, you see something going the direction that you don't want it to, and you take it and you change it and you use it the way that you want.
Yeah.
And I think that's the way that we need to be looking at this AI stuff.
Yeah.
Because someone coming to Linux is now going to be expecting these features.
That's for sure. We're behind.
And so if someone coming from in probably like 6 months, someone coming from Windows saying, "Oh, hey, so I just got this Linux thing and I have this image and I want to get rid of this person in the background. How do I do that?" There is no answer. And in 6 months, will there be one?
Well, I hope you're using Deepin. That's my answer.
Exactly.
Because the two big things that they came out with in January, they announced it. The big things that they came out with were an IDE, or code, development environment, if you will.
Think of VS Code, right?
VS Code,
like that.
So they came out with their own VS Code type thing. Code AI is a big thing. You hear about it on like GitHub, Copilot, and all that jazz.
Yeah, that's in Windows now. It's in like pre-release on regular Windows. You don't have to sign up for the Insider. You just get Copilot now. It's just there.
Yeah, it's weird. So this is like that. Only it's the Deepin version. But the other thing that you said you really wanted was the image editing stuff, and they've got that. They've got a image viewer. And they've added some AI things so you can fix, all like blur the background and scrub out things that you don't want to see and stuff like that. Real basic, I guess, image editing, but still image editing nonetheless.
Well, but specifically what did you say? Predictive intelligence. Right. Editing, because one of the other features was, and I think a lot of people are doing this out on Mastodon and Twitter and everywhere else, where you feed it an image and then it gives you like a stylized version of that. Change me into an anime character, or change me into a comic character, and and then you use that result as your profile picture or something like that. I mean, this is real simple stuff. Okay, I say simple.
It's not simple, but it's simple. Yeah.
Yeah, to an onlooker that can just go on their phone and download an app and feed in a picture and it spits out you a thing. It is seemingly a simple process to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And it's just another notch in the belt of the operating systems that have it, and then Linux.
Yeah, we don't.
We need stuff like that. And I feel like a lot of the attitude in Linux and open source circles run counter to that.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's going to hamper a whole lot progress in that field. Or
we'll see a split and things will diverge, and I'll tap my microphone. But but we'll see that split like we always do in Linux, where you got the crowd that's not happy with change and they're going to stick with this and they'll call it something else maybe, but where the other one is going to go off and do the AI thing. And so I feel like that is probably, it's a fork in the road.
He said the F word.
I know, I did. And you'll see some folks go that way and others not. And I don't know where the majority will go. It'll be yet to be seen.
Well, the predictive generation stuff is going to be tagged as bloat. by many.
That's a good term. Yep, that probably fits. Hey, you like looking at our face? I'm not sure about that. I don't think so. But if you did,
Yeah, no, you do.
You could go to
love
YouTube and you could watch us there and subscribe and ding the bell and stuff, and you'll get notifications.
You gotta do all those things. Apparently, that's what the algorithm tells me. Is that what the AI, the A in AI stands for?
Is that predictive? I don't know.
Algorithm intelligence.
Maybe.
Actually, that's probably closer to what we want. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. And then so
algorithmic.
So you can catch us there, and please subscribe, and we'll send you stuff all the time. But if you just want the history bits, and you're into the privacy type open source things, you could
not the previous segment.
But if you can go over to Tilbits, we're also there, and that's a pretty great platform. You'll find some other great people there too, and I'm really appreciative that they are willing to host our stuff and have they do it free, and you get it too. And so that's a pretty great platform. Think about donating to them if you don't want to donate to us.
Absolutely.
But if you do want to donate to us, we have a Patreon at patreon.com/Linux user space, and you can become a patron and you'll get things, little perks like our Discord channel. We got one of those just for patrons. We've got early access to episodes, and you get some high quality audio episodes if that's your jam, all that good stuff. So yeah, we appreciate you, so we get back.
Yep, absolutely. On average, you get those episodes like a day early or so. And yeah, and we just got done because me and Dan haven't hung out for a little while because if you've been watching the podcast feed, you notice there was a bit of a gap. So we hadn't gotten the chance to hang out for a little while, and so we just hung out for like an hour
episode before the episode.
That's no joke. We were talking about, well, how do we take some of this and like put it out? Because no joke, pretty much an entire episode before we started the episode. So there's a lot of stuff that is just never going to see the light of day outside of the Patreon space and those that, are behind the scenes and hanging out with us back here. So, think about it. There'll be some tidbits we'll put out there, but the rest of it, it's exclusive stuff,
man. Exclusive. Yeah, absolutely.
That's right.